Hello, I am Sandra Lee, Human Design Specialist, Biofield Tuning Practitioner, and creator of Inner Gem Shine card deck. I have a fabulous guest here today for the Tuning Up to Thrive conversation. This is Lisa Roche. She is one of the co-founders of Spirit Calling. Guys, this group is wonderful. It's amazing. It's supportive. It's transformative. If you are somebody who is spiritually oriented and evolving, perhaps just starting that journey, this is the perfect place for you. So, even before we start talking with Lisa, I'm going to say go check out Spirit Calling. They have a free week where you get to explore the platform and everything on it. So, there you go. This is my wonderful friend, Lisa.
Hello, hello. Thank you for that. Thank you, because that's not my strong suit. Remembering to plug anything that I'm associated with is not my strong suit. I like to plug other people. So I appreciate that.
So tell us about what you do and creating a collaboration, which is what we're talking about today.
Ooh, all right. Creating and collaborating. That's near and dear to my heart, right? So the creation of Spirit Calling was just that. It was a calling. It was something I truly woke up and was told to get actually collaborating with Pamela. I had a meeting with her later that day, and I had this voice that said, "Work with Pamela, create a place for people to explore and learn and be together in a community while experiencing their spiritual awakening." So think of it as a school, when you go off to school and you start off in pre-K maybe, and then kindergarten and elementary school and all of the different levels. You have a classroom, you're socialized, and that helps to expand how much you learn, how you learn, all of the different experiences you get to share in. Surrounding yourself is really super important in normalizing all of the different things that you're going through. And a spiritual awakening is filled with new things. And when everything around you is new, it tends to also be really very scary. So when you surround yourself with a community of supportive, loving, caring people, you create the atmosphere in which you get to collaborate and thrive on a whole new life. So that's the gist of Spirit Calling. And my specific role in it, notice it's co-founded, right? So it's a co-creation, not just between Pamela and myself. It started off that way, but now it's between Pamela and me and our entire community. So it's all of these different people, you included, Sandra. Sandra is an amazing soul leader in our community. It's all of us coming together to create this oneness that gets to welcome people. It's a soft place for people to land when they feel lost in their life, and it's an open forum for you to learn and to grow.
One of the amazing things about Lisa and about Spirit Calling is that this collaboration is not just with people, but the Great Council. So I want you to talk about the role of that in this like massive collaboration and where we're going.
Sure. Oh my God, Sandra, that's a lot. That's a lot. You're asking a lot. So okay. I am an open channel. I'm an oracle for healing, which means healing can come through me in terms of energetic, physical. I used to work in person with people in a studio, so very physical in nature, with a lot of hands-on touch, a lot of movement, somatic release that way. And then it also can come through me in words, the written language, spoken language, sounds, different kinds of energy healing. The Great Council of Light is, um, let's just say we call them our board of directors, because they really give us the instructions. It's the angelic body of which we're all a part of, right? So it's the collective soul. We're all just little pieces of light that create the one big light. So we have, um, by miracle and design, both Pamela and I are able to tap into source and receive all of the messages and all of the healing energy that needs to come through and be delivered to our community. That's it in a nutshell. But they give us directions, they give us messages, and those are the messages that we share with the community, and those are directive in nature. They're sometimes they're filled with lots of warnings. Certain things are coming up, certain things could be happening in your world. That's the trajectory that we're on right now, but if you did X, Y, and Z, you could change that trajectory and maybe experience a little bit more ease, a little bit more peace in your life. That's their number one objective, is to, isn't that so funny, Sandra? Before we ever got on camera, you asked me for parting words, and they're already delivering them. So their number one message and the parting words of our interview time here today, right smack in the beginning, is peace. They just want every soul to live in peace. It's why they exist, which means it's why you and I exist. We're all part of the exact same energy, and the whole purpose of the existence of energy is love and peace, hope. It's that hope vibration, the peace vibration, the love vibration. That's supposed to be maximized and shared throughout the world, because we're all connected.
So, thinking about me and my life, how sometimes I tend to get into a situation where I'm stressed and I'm pulled into the day-to-day, like realness and what's happening. Do I like it? Do I not like it? So yesterday I sprained my ankle, for example, and this just kind of like absorbs a lot of my attention, and it distracts me from my broader purpose. So looking at, how do I get back to coming from the big picture and see it all in this big wholeness, so that I'm not sucked into and down the path of my daily whatever.
Well, what's so interesting, so something like that happens, you get a sprained ankle, and you could absolutely so easily have that human experience of going down into the tunnel of despair, right? How does this impact my life? How does this impact my relationships? How does this impact my work? And on and on and on. How much of a disruptive part of my life is this going to wind up being? Instead of that, if when things happen, my very first question is why. So I sit in wonder of it all. So you are telling me you sprained your ankle yesterday, and my very first thought was, ooh, that's interesting. That's curious. Why? Why? So I am like one of those little, like a terrier. I burrow. I try to find the root of everything. So my questions for you now I can't let it go. Which ankle was it? What were you doing? What were you thinking? What were you feeling? And then what generally is happening in your life?
What I was doing was sitting on the floor watching your interview, actually. And I was sitting on my ankle, which I don't normally do. And it was wild. And when I stood up, it was hard walking because basically, and this is in a bigger space of, I have been working on promoting and building my business and coming up against feeling frustrated and anxiety about calling people, because I get anxious about calling people, fear of bothering people is my big
Mm,
thing.
mm,
So
mm.
that's the bigger context within which all of this was happening.
So which ankle is it?
Right.
It's your right ankle. So on the right, that is that moving forward energy, the masculine energy, the doing of life. And what did you just say? I was sitting there, I was watching an interview, which is an awesome interview filled with really high vibration, very high frequency conversation. So already just listening to that conversation raises your vibration. Then you layer on top of that a conscious understanding of I'm trying to grow my business, which means I'm trying to move forward. And now I've got this high vibration that is sort of pushing me out of my comfort zone, stretching things a little bit. Um, and then, I mean, there's also this I'm going to sit here and listen. I love it when the messages start coming in. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to listen to this instead of make the phone calls, instead of check off my to-do list. So there's this, I've pressed pause on the doing, on that masculine moving forward energy to sit in. And what did your body tell you? Your body told you you sat too long, you avoided too long. You should, how about you move forward? How about you get started on all of this? How about you press pause on watching this, use the vibration that came through already, make a phone call, and then come back. So it's not an all or nothing, right? It's not I stop and then I get going in another direction. The ebb and flow is really very important. And that interview that you watched yesterday, we talked about the harmony of life and not the balance of life, not the do or don't do, but the actual harmony. So how do you play with the ebb and flow of energy? And how you move forward in life is about with the synchronicities and the harmonies of all of the energy in your life. So what's the best and fastest way to help your ankle heal? I mean, number one, you're a massage therapist, so I'm sure that you get into the right ankle and release all of the tension in there and realign, right? Or you can go to a chiropractor and get adjusted. But then you have to support the physicality of it with the energy of it, which is, okay, I get it, I'll go make a phone call. I get it, I'll go reach out to someone. I get it, I will actually take action to step forward in my life.
Absolutely. These are the kinds of things that both Lisa and I do, because I do the same thing. I work with people with their physical and how is this holding you back from where it is you're going, and putting that energetic context onto what's happening physically for people. So yes, and opportunity to work on myself and to do the healing for myself. Yeah, which is something that sometimes I don't do.
Well, that's the hard part, right? Is that we'll see it in ourselves. And because it's so personal, it's hard to get out of your own way. People talk about that all the time. Get out of your own way. Allow yourself to heal, right? Go find other people to talk to. Go find somebody who can help guide you out of the blindness. Because when it's your own junk, see, Sandra, I kept it clean. But when it's your own junk, you tend to have blinders on, right? And sunglasses that sort of blind you to maybe a bigger picture, because you can hyper focus on what you think the problem is. So you need somebody who comes from another perspective and can say, oh, hey, did you think about this, that, or the other thing? And you put it into the community, that these are the things that you've been working on, and people talk about it, people respond to that and offer suggestions. I mean, just in our Live the Call yesterday, we had Phil on there, Phil Kreutzer, who is absolutely amazing. And just listening to that interview has so many little nuggets of gold to go, aha, that's a new perspective. I can try that route instead. And it's just a constant exploration. which I think is exciting. Some can find that daunting, but I think it's exciting.
That's what I talk about a lot too. And the terms that I use for it is I need outside of my head perspective. And I also want to talk about this from the perspective of healers. You know,
Mm.
a lot of people in spirit calling are healers, and there is this expectation, this
Mm.
unspoken thing that, oh, as a healer, I should have this all handled.
Right? You should be perfect. You should
And
be great.
yes, and hiding what's
Mhm.
really going on because, oh, that, people won't have a good impression of me, people will be judgmental or whatever. And to have the value and the importance of that openness. Hey, this is what's going on with me today, and putting that out to the community so that I feel seen,
Mhm.
other people can relate, and I have this opportunity to get that information from outside of my head. Because when I'm in my head, I run these, and it's impossible for me to get anywhere different if it's all this internal system.
Right.
So, talking about creating in collaboration, my success, my life is a community project. And that's part of what Sue.
Everyone should be, Sandra. That's why
Yes,
you're so inspirational.
that's part of the real value of this community. So, guys, go check out Spirit Calling.
Thank you. I mean, seriously, this this has always been and will always be a collaboration of whoever is a member. We don't consider it just ours, we consider it the collectives. We're just sort of steering the ship. We're stewards, right? We're stewards of this healing opportunity. So within the community, we have a whole lot of healers. I love that you said that. And we have a group dedicated to just the healers. And that was deliberate. Coming from healing modality, coming from owning a studio, I learned over a really long period of time, over a decade's worth of time, that the best healing happens when you get out of the vacuum, when you start learning from other people and pulling in all of these different um, practices, which is what it really is, right? You're bringing in all of these different practices. It's like you could bake chicken, sure, with nothing else, or you could add a bunch of spices, and guess what? It's really good. So when you add all of these other different layers and different spices to a healing journey, the impact is greater. And that's something you and I have discovered when when we've co-hosted healing sessions for people and for the community. Bringing different modalities not only allows people to experience in very different ways, but it allows a singular modality to amplify, right? And it allows for that sharing of communal energy, which is really where healing resides, in the love vibration. And the only way to get a really strong love vibration is to get it to share, right? Get it to share it, bring in more and more and more, and all of a sudden you're flooded with love. And that's where real healing happens. um the importance of some of the best words that I ever heard. It was a really long time ago, years ago. I had I had my studio. I was strictly working with the gyrotonic method as my healing modality with people, and I hurt my back. I had a chronic back pain, which is what introduced me to gyrotonic method to begin with. But I had hurt my back. I was very stressed, and I was actually hosting my first open house for the studio. So interesting that I hurt my back that day. And I was embarrassed. I was filled with shame and guilt. How can I, a practitioner of the gyrotonic method, that is a physical um, enhancement for how the body works, and I'm my best walking billboard, how can I show up injured? How can I show up injured to an open house? How can I show up injured to working with clients? And I had a friend say to me, you are a healing healer. You're a healing healer. And that's what being human is all about. So until the day that we transition to be pure energy, we will always, always, always be healing healers. And that's that tipping of the scale, right? You're not looking for balance between being healed, that's all ego, and being a healer, right? And you're looking at it from a very egocentric mindset.
That is so powerful.
Right? So if you don't look at it from, I have to be the shining example and I have to be perfect all the time. Well, if you were, you wouldn't be human anymore. That is like, I mean, it just is. It's part of the human frailty. It's a given, it's an absolute, and the second you accept that, all ego disappears. You no longer are striving for perfection. There is no such thing. What you're striving for is better in every moment, more in every moment. How can I show up better in every moment, more in every moment? Oh, well, then that means I'm imperfect. And in there lies the empowerment. Because if I'm imperfect, you're imperfect. And now when two imperfect people come together, holy, what can we create? Right? From both perspectives of frailty and vulnerability, now what can we create? Something so amazing and beautiful. Because we're looking to empower each other in that moment. I'm helping you, you're helping me, we help others. Boom! Now you've got something really beautiful.
As I have shifted to no longer trying to pretend everything is rosy and wonderful as I, talk about my business, people can relate to it. It's real. And,
right?
And I am more human to them.
Yes.
More
You're real.
Because they can see themselves in that experience.
Well, you become a reflection of, right? And now the real strength lies in your ability to say, I have fear, I feel fear, I stand in my fear as a reflection of you, for me, and for you. So my acknowledgement of my limitations becomes an empowering tool for someone else. And in that honesty, we're able to help each other come out of that and become a more fuller expression of our truest self, right? I mean, I think it's absolutely beautiful. We have the business side of Spirit, the whole group dedicated just to the businesses of spiritualists, soul-aligned businesses. So if you are fulfilling your soul's purpose and showing up in your business soul aligned, then why aren't we making money? Right? There's the practicality of, well, we're shifting into a paradigm where people who actually put their soul first will begin to make money. That's awesome, except we're all afraid. So we give our stuff away, right? We give it away for free because I deny money, and that's how I show you how important my stuff is. Instead of saying, oh, I've been valuing my stuff as actually zero, so you don't value it either. Right? There's that. But then there's also this, let's shift it to how important this work is in the world, how important it is that this kind of living come out into the world, and that we can all join in that energy to create something brand spanking new and support ourselves on the very human 3D level of needing finances. But then you can level up out of that too, right? Of just meeting my financial obligations and actually stepping into, I have everything that I could ever possibly want or need. And then some. Because in there lies the freedom of being able to then share. I feel safe, so then I share.
I have been lately doing an Inner Gem Shine card reading every day on my Facebook
Love
profile
it.
for me and for everyone, and showing people, hey, I have stuff that comes up because usually I work on what's been going on in my life, right? And
Healer, heal thyself.
yeah, and doing it for whoever it is that's watching, because these are the kinds of things that everybody experiences. And so using, a kind of little bit of randomness to be able to assist all of us in, being human, relating with each other, recognizing that life is a collaboration, and allowing ourselves to be guided in where it is that I choose to come from, you choose to come from every day.
Well, I love that because then it's you doing a card, pulling a card every day. You've taken it to so many different levels of collaboration, right? So not only are you collaborating with yourself, working on yourself, you have now drawn in the energy because you're sharing it out into the world. You're drawing in the energy of everyone who receives. So now you're collaborating with yourself. You're collaborating with everybody who watches that video. The end, because it's not random, right? The things that we think are random are actually a collaboration with spirit. Some people call it the universe, some people call it God. But that entity, that energy being, that's who you're collaborating with. So look at all of the different levels that you're working on now. That's spectacular. That's what you want to do.
And this is something that we want to assist everyone in being able to do. Have life be guided, and, with all of the ups and downs, and where is it I'm going today with whatever it is that's going on, including, a sprained ankle, or, including a big thing, an opportunity that comes my way. And so to flow with the guidance as it comes.
Well, and I love that you brought up your ankle again, because ankles carry their own kind of energy, right? And it's usually that the energy of moving forward. We use our ankles as a means to walk. It's the joint through which we move to be able to move forward in our life. So we're either using that energy to hold ourselves back. That would have been your left ankle. Or we're using that energy, there goes my head, Sandra, or we're using that energy to prevent ourselves from actually stepping forward. So it's not your left ankle, right? So you got no hangups with where you've been. Nothing past related trauma that needs clearing before you're able to step forward. Yours is really this: how do I step forward? How do I release into it? So forward motion is a falling motion. You have to roll through that ankle in order to get to your next step. And that's all about release and not force, you know? I know that walking seems very labored and very deliberate in each step, but really, if you just allow yourselves to move, you are falling into the next step and catching yourself with your other foot. That's the action of walking. So it's interesting to me, that you were sitting on your ankle, and then when you actually got up to get going and get moving, in there lies your problem, right? So how can you release into moving forward? What are you scared of?
Yeah.
Where's the fear?
Now I want to talk about the fun that we have when
Mhm.
you and I go into healing space together. It's like magic happens. And it's like you mentioned that when we collaborate, each modality winds up getting higher, more effective, because I'm doing biofield tuning and my intuitive stuff, and then you come in with what you're gut, and it's like we get to places that are like mind blowing.
I mean, for sure. And I never know what to expect when I collaborate with other people. I never know what to expect. I just allow it. Okay, it's going to go wherever it's going to go, and whatever's meant to happen is going to happen. And I think that's like the secret sauce. Too bad we can't like create a recipe and bottle that, but I think that that's where the specialness winds up developing in that playtime. What's neat is that because we are both accessing the exact same source energy, we all go back to that same pool. We pull it through us, but because we are who we are, it gets our special frequency laid on top of that. So when you take that special frequency, it's like a translator. That's all. So my translation hits your translation to come up with a unique translation. And then that expands because it's all through that love vibration, right? So my definition of love comes through, your definition of love comes through, and creates this whole brand new spectacle of love that people get to sit in that space, that energy. And then you and I, that's what makes a healer, is that we're able to not just connect to and draw through us, but we can direct it to a certain individual, but then also hold this space for amplification. That's what makes a healer. So you bring more than one healer into one space. You're talking about the capacity for holding space for somebody else's healing is expanded. So more gets to happen. So you get all this, like all the specialness and then some, because you're able to like move the walls a little bit, right? And make the room bigger.
We're not doing this yet, but we've talked about it. Having healing sessions for individuals where both of us are doing this. We've talked about it, and there's just so much going on. We haven't actually made it happen yet. But for members of Spirit Calling, I'm saying now that this is something that is going to be available. So come over and join the community. Check it out. Talk to people about how they can do that.
Sure. So thank you. First of all, thank you. Thank you for bringing your love and your energy into Spirit Calling. Thank you for riding this journey with us. You've been with us since the very beginning. And the impact it's had on your life and how much it's changed you is, I mean, immense. And that is, it's an honor. It's an absolute honor to be with you on this journey, to just watch and witness. So for other people who want to join us, come to spirit-calling.com. You can find out all about what we have to offer. You can go to the membership page to sign up. Every membership, whether you choose to do monthly or annual, comes with a free 7-day. Cancel if it doesn't resonate with you. And that gives you the opportunity to come in to see and play with all of the different groups that we have, the conversations that go on in the groups, the healings that take place in the groups, the different healers and practitioners. You get to, you have access to our preferred professionals. Those are people, those are soul aligned professionals that I would recommend to any family and friend. When I had my private studio, I was asked for recommendations all the time, because when you find somebody that you trust, right, it goes with anything. If you find somebody you trust, you're going to trust their connection. So that's what brought that about. We have tools and resources we're creating and adding to our libraries all the time to help you like corral all of that different information that you might strike your curiosity. And we've got a whole lot just for the community. Right now, we're in a peace challenge, which is every week. This was a channeled peace challenge. So the Great Council of Light fed that through me. It was a specific ask from the community. How can we take very specific steps to create change in our lives? And the peace challenge was a result of that request. And then we've got more coming up. I don't want to spoil it. I would tell you what next month's challenge is going to be, Sandra, but I'm not going to spoil it. That's already been downloaded. It's already been laid out. I'm so excited for it. And then we've got neat groups. It's just incredible how people are stepping up and delivering their specialty to everybody. We've got a group dedicated to the nutritional support for spiritual awakening. All of these physical changes that happen in your body. Why am I allergic to this? Why can't I seem to digest that? Why am I suffering from upset stomach? All of those different things. We have a nutritionist in there to help guide you through that. We also have a trainer who's coming in and talk about collaboration. They're collaborating within this group, the spirituality of food, to help your 3D body. What are some good exercises? What are things to avoid? How can these two professionals come together to help you through the physicality of spiritual awakening? I think that's amazing. That group makes me really excited. And then we have, among a whole others, we've got a Reiki share that happens every week. And we've got Pamela, who is my partner in all of this. She channels live messages in her group. And those are super high frequency. And so is Ask the Oracle. These are really super high frequency groups that you need to request to become a member of, to make sure that vibrationally you're able to handle the answers.
And once a month in my group, I have a biofield tuning, inner gem shine, water focused healing. So once a month. The next one is July 5th. And if you want to come in for a week, you get to take advantage of all of the things that are happening in the group that week. So come try it out.
Well, and what's your biofield tuning dedicated to?
This time I'm going to be talking about getting out of the rut, getting out of the stuck place where my mind tends to go.
That dialogue, the dialogue that runs circles around your brain. I love that we're going to have some time dedicated to that, because your biofield tunings are ridiculous. In a very short amount of time, there's incredible impact that happens. And I have a feeling that in this one, there's going to be a whole lot of script rewrites happening right afterwards, where different ideas and different creations are going to be dropping into people's heads. I can't wait.
How about we do this as another collaborative one, you and me?
Woo, okay.
Because the last time I suggested that, it was like off the charts, amazing. So yeah, okay. So we're gonna co-do this one.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
So would you repeat what your final message to leave people with was?
Peace, 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 peace. Like, they haven't stopped. That has been this, like a ticker tape in front of my face. Peace, peace, peace. And you have to start at home first, right? You have to start within your body. And what peace means to you it could very well be very different from what it means to me. So it's your definition of peace, what brings you peace, how you go about creating it within your body. Start there. What makes you comfortable within your own skin? That's what we refer to as the 3D existence. After you're really very comfortable with what brings you peace within your body, where is the pain residing? If you do join Spirit Calling, what do we have, 30 days in June, so we've got 8 days left. We're in the middle of a peace challenge. You can get caught up quickly. And if I recall correctly, it started off with what's going on in your body, really getting in touch with where emotion gets stored within your body. That's really super important. Where do you hold your emotions? What kind of pain are they causing within your body? And then how can you release that? That's how you create peace within your physicality. From there, you can start projecting peace into your world. So then you look outward. Don't look inward so much anymore, but then look outward. What is happening in your world that is not aligning with creating peace within your body? And then start eliminating. You've got to start making the choices. Feng shui your world. Get rid of the people, the circumstances. If you don't like your job, keep your job, but look for another one, right? Make it a top, all of those different things. Create peace within your within your environment, and then go out and say, okay, now that I feel good in my body, I feel good in my surrounding area. How can I now generate peace out into the world? Is it go smile at someone, say thank you, pay a compliment, right? You can start off really small like that. It doesn't have to be earth shattering. It just needs to be one thing dedicated every single day to peace. Your peace. Generate peace. That's it.
Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. So, if you watched this, put in the comments what you got out of this. And if there's a takeaway, because there were a lot of things that you could take away and make practical in your life. Even just this last part about peace, huge thing. So, thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I loved your takeaways, because our main objective at Spirit Calling is to demystify spirituality and holistic healing. We want people to recognize that you can do this. You can. All you need is the right instruction, the right kind of help, the right kind of support, and the right kind of community. That's it. It's not rocket science. It's something you're entitled to. And peace is something you're entitled to. So we want to lift you up and empower you into that state of being.
Thank you. So check out Spirit Calling. There will be links associated with the video. And thank you so much for watching. Turn up the magic. Turn up the flame that feeds your magic. The flame that feeds your magic is your attention, your emotion, and your energy. Where are you putting them? And that's what creates the future that you want. Thank you, everybody.